Hello everyone, and today is my last day, my last video. A couple housekeeping tips. If you like my stuff and you found that it helps, please share it because I have so much more to give to the world and I really want to help everyone with their movement problems. And two is I will actually take everything off of my personal Facebook. So if you want something, just head to my YouTube or head to my company's Facebook page. So let me explain just a little bit about myself and a little bit about what I did here. So let's start with So when I was younger, I very athletic, hand-eye coordination is easy to me. I really like to play a lot of sports. However, I never focused on technique. I just tried really hard and played them. So then it was in university when I was training with the varsity soccer team that I was in the best shape of my life. I was doing their workouts. I was running, and all of a sudden, right, I just took one wrong move and I planted and I blew my knee. And went to see the orthopedic surgeon. They said, well, we're not too sure. So I tried to run, tried to go out again. It popped again. So I needed surgery. But here I didn't understand why, I'm in the best shape of my life and I blow my knee. I have an injury there. So, okay, I'm in kinesiology, so I'll just keep learning about it, keep studying. So then I went and I saw an athletic therapist for my knee and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys fix injuries? That's amazing. I want to get into that. Unfortunately, if I wanted to get into that, I would have had to do my undergrad in it, which I didn't. So I fast forward and I did my master's in it in the States, where I learned all about the body, injuries, and best experience ever. But here I am, I'm doing the rehab exercises for the knee and I'm playing soccer again. Again, I feel like I'm in really good shape and blow my other knee. I'm like, wait a second, what happened here? I was strong, I'm fit, I'm young. Why did this happen? Well, it's because my pattern was off. My fascial pattern was going into my hips were tight, my core, I wasn't rotating through my abs, I didn't have much of a core, and here my poor knees were taking on all the weight because I was also so on my toes all the time and all forward, and here I was never back, I would tight everything. So anyways, I did the rehab, but the problem was I didn't integrate the exercises. So you have physio for an injury, and then you have gym, then you have strength and conditioning, and then you have your sports. But really, I think where my focus is after the physio, before gym, just teaching people proper movement, proper mechanics, so you can feel good in your movements. And that's really what I wanted to do this month is I just wanted to practice getting into my space. So what's the fascial pattern? The fascial pattern is the connective tissue under the skin. So when I collapse, I not only take my skin with me, my muscles collapse, my connective tissue collapse, and my organs collapse. So this collapse makes it tough for your body to move, but it also puts the pressure into the joints, and it also tightens and loosens certain muscles. So I could easily function, but I'm not in a place, I was stuck in my pattern. I never came out of my pattern. And really, this is actually one of the first times I came out of my pattern. So I'll get to where I feel in a second, but let me just really get to this because this is key. Because I also see a lot of people with injuries that are just trying to, avoid it, not go towards their injury, just beat themselves up, negate it. But there is a pattern, and I really do think that if people understood, they could feel where they're tight and allow themselves to free up spaces and fix themselves. So here's an example. So here I am in my joint, okay? I want shoulder mobility. I'm stuck here. So what do they say? They say, okay, head back, shoulders up, chest. Okay, I've got a little bit more. But what if I relaxed some of my tightness and I allowed myself to come out of the pattern? Now this is my mobility. So here, I'll show you the difference again. This is me collapsed, trying to get shoulder mobility. I can't, right? I'm like, okay, I need to work on my shoulder. My shoulders need to come down. So head back, chest up. Okay, got a little bit more. But what if I allowed myself to come out and ease the tension? And that's what I did here. I allowed myself to come out of my pattern. And I'll show you what this is in a second, but I also just wanted to show you the difference between how I feel and what's going on with that. So here was, okay, I'll do the rotation first. So if you remember, I did some rotational stuff where I was sitting and I rotated back. This is me left, and this is me right. So I actually feel like I can get into my right side again and turn and look back. Whereas before, I was really leaning over, like shifting over. Next was my hamstrings. So if I lie down, this is right, my right hamstring, which was super tight. Good, and this is my left hamstring. And actually, my left is a little bit tighter. So working on that. I'm just trying to find balance in the body, and I guess I'm just teaching people how to connect exercise. So I can body read my clients and break down every exercise and tell them where they're going wrong, or I can just teach movement and teach people how to connect the body. So that's really what I'm trying to go for here. Okay, so this is where I feel different. So this is what I've noticed. One, I noticed that I have no more pain in my big toe. So before, when I was collapsed, I had pain in my big toe. I had a lot of pain. I couldn't run in my side and pain in my shoulder blades. So that pain is completely gone. Next, I have more flow to my movements, and I find that I'm less stressed. I guess in my body and just in everyday life. Like I actually feel more grounded and able to finally breathe again into new areas. I know I still have a lot of work to do, but I'm going into that. So one of the cons is that I actually do feel, now that new areas have opened up in my body, I actually feel where I'm really tight and the new areas that I need to work on. So I'll kind of show you what was going on with me before and where I'm at now with my patterns and everything. Okay. So I didn't change my diet. I didn't do strenuous exercise. I actually weigh a little bit more than I did when I started this, but I've stretched my spine out and I'm just in a better position. Okay, mechanics really matter, especially when you're trying to fix something deep and integral. So this is what I mean. So I had a drop core, right? Core dropped, and I had a rotation. So really, what do people say when you're exercising? Oh, heels back, push out on the knees, heels back, head back, chest up. It didn't fix my rotation though, right? So I can exercise easily like this, but I didn't come out of it. Watch the difference between me here, trying to brace and hold and squeeze, and look at like my head, and you can even see like my shoulders tense up, my stress, and then watch me just coming out of the position here, right? So this is me finally like, okay, integrating. I just stretched it. So not only did I pull it up, right? It's from the feet. I want to connect the feet to the head. And that's what I was working on, the flow. So even on the side here, right? So here I am, right? But now if I connect the feet to the head, and even at the end, you can see at the end, I'm not forcing my pelvis down. It naturally comes down as I get my lift. It naturally comes down. So let me show you. So yes, my rotation's still there. I'm still working on my rotation. There's still a lot of things I want to work on, but this is what's going on. So the body, right, is all connected as a unit. So this was the front core line that I was working on, and that was the one that was dropped. right? So you can imagine right here from the belly, it's dropped down. Okay, so that's right here. Belly drop down, pelvis is pushed in, knees are pushed in, but hips are turned out, right? But what did I do? I tried to connect it from my feet to my core, rolled everything out to get that length back. So, am I super fit? No, because now I have to load this pattern. So now that I feel the pattern, I feel where I need to be in space. Now I need to actually exercise where I am in space. So, and then, so that was pretty much it. So where am I going with this? So I think what I'll do is I'll post the before and after, but it's really how you feel. And I feel like I'll do a mobility segment. So now that I still have, yes, rolling out, after whatever your day is, where you're stuck, rolling out, I'll definitely do more of that. But I also will do a whole mobility because I think I'll go through like every joint and just do the kind of movement thing I did that one day where I'm just feeling where my joints are and I'm starting to move again. So, really, what did I need to do? Well, I haven't moved in 2 years. I sat on the couch, I breastfed, there was COVID, maybe I went for a walk here or there, but I didn't do anything. So really, I had to retrain my body how to move again instead of just trying to beat myself up, jumping right into the exercises. And yeah, so let me know what you think. I think that's the goal, right? The goal is just to have fluid movement and teach everybody how to move better, really, so that they're not getting injured doing their exercises or going to the gym, and they actually understand, what is going on in their body, what they're working towards. So anyways, I do have a course. I have a book that I'm writing coming out for fixing office injuries. I also have a course if you're interested, but I'm doing a mobility segment next. It won't be every single day of the week. It'll probably be 3 days a week, and then I'll see where I go from there. So thank you very much for joining me for this journey and helping me practice, practice being in front of the camera and being in front of you. And I guess here, I'll do it like another segment to sum it up. Sorry I'm everywhere, guys. I have this planned in my head, but the second the camera goes on, I'm just thoughts go everywhere. So let's say I had a shoulder injury here, okay? I could just work on my shoulder and help strengthen my shoulder and make it feel better. But then anytime I did any big motion, my shoulder would hurt again. Why? Because the pattern is going down to my left and is popping my right shoulder. I'm not purposely turning myself, I'm just relaxing. So that's how you know. And it's for me just not to work out collapse. So everyone's pattern is a little bit different, but a lot of the compensations are the same, where they're dropped, where they're compensating, back of the neck, lower stomach. So a lot of the exercises are the same, and a lot of strengthening is the same, even though the compensations are individualized compared to where you were injured before or where your pain is. So I could fix my shoulder, try to do exercises, but I'm not actually fix the problem because I didn't integrate this with the rest of my body, right? I didn't integrate this with my hip. Watch what happens when my shoulder goes. My hip goes. So this whole functional line here is pulled. I needed to integrate this line here so that when I actually throw, it can go across my core into my hip, into the ground. So I know this is a lot. I hope it makes sense, but how you do things really matter, and I think that's the point I wanted to get out. Because if I knew how to do things, then I wouldn't have been injured so many times and in and out of surgery, and just to be functional, right? A lot of my clients too, they're older and their goals are to pick up their grandkids, to bend over without hurting, to walk. These are all functional things that we should be able to do. And young kids sitting in desks, there's so many young kids I see with shoulder pain, with neck pain, with lower back pain. This shouldn't be. So I do feel like it's kind of like a duty of mine with all this knowledge to kind of impose it and share it so that everyone can have healthy movements and feel better. Anyway, so this was my segment. I wasn't actually, I'm kind of getting emotional. I didn't expect to get emotional at the end of this, but I really do feel better, and I really appreciate you guys joining me. So I'll see you in the next series. Thank you.